what you want? And are you getting what you
Well, you've
need?
stumbled on another episode of No Means No Thing. No Means
Are you
Nerds.
okay? Did you fall down?
Who
Stumbling?
fell down?
Whoever
What happened?
stumbled on this. Ouch.
Oh, they did. Yes, sorry. That's where I'm at tonight, folks. I can't even catch the puns as they fall. So let's see how this goes. Anyway, as is our wont to do, but I'd like to hear from Michelle first because I'm very boring on this front tonight. What the fuck you drinking, Strangey? What we got?
I have the milk that goes in the Lucky Charms.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
Look
and
at
do you
that.
wanna
Look at
know
that
what I
head
had?
on that sucker,
That's
too.
right.
Oof.
Do you want to know what I
Oof.
had before here?
What?
Do you know what I had before this beer? Is
What?
halloumi cheese.
Oh, yeah.
What the
Hey.
fuck is that?
Salty
my
and
God.
squeaky.
Oh my God, it's so good. I knew you've had it, Matthew. I know you. I figured you had.
He's a gastronomist. I'm not a big cheese guy. Actually.
I also have
there's a lot of cheese
Cypriot
I
friends.
Like, but...
That's where it's from. It's from Cyprus.
Nice. Wow, Jesus
But
Christ.
it doesn't melt. Jesus Christ. It doesn't melt. You can grill it. And
That
it's
sounds
like-
pretty good.
It's like sex cheese.
Is this on the old sock
Sex
side
is
or
also
the...
salty. Sex is
Oh,
also
Jesus.
squeaky. Sex also involves a lot of protein.
All I hear are cocks and cunts, apparently.
Okay.
So Matthew, what do we got on your plate today? Well, not plate, cup, lips, drink.
This is actually a gift from my lovely neighbor. It is the Steamworks Eterna. It's a capital AE digraph, so it's actually Aterna, I guess. An eternal hybrid ale, bottle conditioned saison beer with blackberry and whole cluster grape.
God damn it, I want that right
Yeah,
now.
it's a
That's the problem with
fancy
hearing
looking
about
bottle.
what you drink.
Lift
Yeah.
it up higher. I can't see it. I didn't see the label.
Yeah, it's kind of long and skinny. It
good
looks like a
looking.
wine bottle, little
Yeah,
wine
It
bottle.
does look like a
Yeah.
wine bottle.
And I'm going
Nice.
to pour it into a glass because I'm a fancy man.
Yeah, fancy.
See, we're
I am.
fancy cheese, fancy beers.
I'm needing to be a little amped tonight, so I've got a big old blue cup of fucking coffee. Is what
Cup
I
of
got.
mud.
Hey,
Cup of mud, no
don't be
cream,
dissing
no
coffee.
sugar. I'm not, man. It's my second blood, basically.
Mine too.
Yeah, because I want to get jacked up for this episode. Listen, first things. Well, not first things first. Just so that everyone knows that they should stick around to the very, very end of this episode. We are going to
yes.
have a very. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but we're going to have a very special surprise at the end of this episode that I can pretty much guarantee that if you like fucking No Means No, you're going to want to stick around and hear. So
Yeah.
Don't nope out after the last vote. Stick around, and you'll get a nice little surprise of what will be a somewhat ongoing little treat. every
Don't
once in a
nope
while.
out and don't stroke out if you are upset about what we say.
Or
the
do
decisions that we
stroke out,
make.
depending on what that means, because
Yes,
true.
true.
Maybe that's how you listen to podcasts. I'm not judging. It's
Don't
just
back
how
to
it is.
me again.
Exactly. Yeah, I got ruined by last episode. All right, so today, these are some fucking songs.
I
is what we
hated
have
this.
here.
I hated
This was so hard. I do not want any of these little babies to go, especially in
Why
our first
are we
matchup.
doing this to ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, again, caveat,
It's
none of this
kinda
matters.
funny.
None of this means anything. It's not like these songs are, it's not like once we decide a song can't go through, it gets erased from the catalog forever. So, it doesn't, who cares
Well,
really?
you
but
always say it's killing your babies, so
it does feel like I'm killing my
well,
babies.
I
It
don't
does. It does.
Don't be
And
doing
the first pair of twins, and they are almost twins because they're anyway. You already know what they are if you've seen the show notes to this. We are first covering when putting it when putting it all in order ain't enough
There you go.
from the mighty 0 + 2 = 1 from 1991, and then far distant in the catalog, The Fall, also from 0 + 2 = 1 1991. These two songs going up against each other. This is the second time now, right? Second time that we've had
I don't know
songs from
how
the same
random
album
this-
going up.
this
Yes, I
randomizer
believe
is.
so.
It's pretty random. Look at last episode. That was random as fuck. So I'm pretty steadfast that it's random, but we're going to get these kind of things. And yeah, this is nuts. I do not want to vote against either of these. So I don't know how this is going to go. But let's see first before we put anything up to a vote, which is probably the least interesting part of all of it. Let's hear what we have to say about this sucker. So we're going to start with putting it order all in enough. So let's give a little putting it all in order. I can't say this song.
Have another
Putting
sip.
the words in order ain't enough.
Let's have some more coffee, Jordan. That's what
So
we're
I'm gonna begin.
Yeah, but wait. Let's let
Okay.
the audience hear just a little clip of this.
Yes, indeed.
Bad boy first.
When all those tomorrows get crammed into now, you stop like you froze and ask yourself how. When all those tomorrows get crammed into now, you stop like you froze and ask yourself how. And putting it all in order ain't enough. The tough gets going and the going gets tough, and the thing that you thought ain't what it ought to be. When you lay on the line, dreams will stop. They draw you in and they strung you up when you lay on the line.
All right, Matthew, you're up.
So those of you familiar with old formats, actually, and now modern day formats, when it was an LP and when it was a tape, there were sides, and you may notice that these songs are the second song on each side. So everybody who got used to CDs and MP3s, I suppose, sides matters.
Right.
Oh God! Right in the guts.
So yeah, this is a quiet little song. I mean, I had a lot of trouble. I wandered around Vancouver listening to these songs, and I always have trouble listening to individual songs on Zero Plus Equals. When I listen to one, I got to listen to all of it. It's just one of those. So yeah, to chisel it out and not analyze them individually was very painful. And then compare them was even more painful and painful to me. So yeah, quiet little song, much like Lonely in many ways to me. Has a lot of the contrast that I enjoy in A No Means No song. But yeah, this one, initially, before any kind of comparison, I would have just said The Fall, hands down, no hesitation. But to listen to Putting It All in Order and Enough, it is much more of a contender than it might have been in the past. Yeah, it is a song, and maybe it's resonating for me more these days. It's a song about time and worry and anxiety. How the more you think about that, the more paralytic it is. Things are harder when they matter, maybe. And your dreams stop. So I did quite a bit of thinking about the lyrics, as I tend to do. Andy's vocals are just amazing, and
get out of town.
Just the snottiest. Punk rock vocalist is so amazing.
Yeah.
So I thought a lot about the word ought. So it's interesting though. I never really thought about the fact that ought is actually an old timey version of the word owed. It is you are owed. So time is owed. Your attention on the future is owed. You ought to do something. You owe somebody else. And of course, yes, it's also an old timey word for zero. Or nothing. So that's
appropriate for the album.
Indeed, yeah.
Right. I never thought about the two versions of that word.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did.
So I love the halting rhythm of this song. It's got quiet bits, it got noisy bits. There's parts where it sounds off time, almost like somebody's reeling or drunk, and then it just snaps right back in to like rigidity. So it's maybe like that, the progress of time, like you sort of knocked for a loop by it and sort of not paying attention until it punches you in the face. Yeah.
Like a good song should.
Yeah. And then I had find myself at the end Such a complex little interplay, and the only thing that Rob says, it's all in a word. And Rob just sort of jumps in there.
Yeah.
Stuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
How many times did they record that to get just the right fuck? I gotta wonder, because it is so perfectly, it's frustration, it's surprise, and it's resignation all in one.
But the fuck isn't like fuck or fuck. It's just
No.
like, fuck.
Exactly.
Just like-
that's what Matthew's saying, right? It's like,
Helpless.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, yeah, this song is distilled. It's distilled like scotch. It's something, fine, something that it's like, maybe not like scotch as much as like Gelfling essence. It's the life force squeezed out of something that's been tortured.
Our non-science fiction head down here in the Zoom just has no idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't have any idea.
But I do, Matthew. I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Well,
know
we'll
who
see.
Spock
We'll
is.
see. We'll see what people think of that
I
reference.
like Spock.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, yeah, that's about all I have to say about that song. Is I like it a lot more than I used to.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Fuck.
listen, man. Fuck. You said a lot of what I'd want to say, man. I actually feel very similar. I think before listening to both of these obsessively, which I have now done so many times, it's like chewing on a piece of steak that you can't swallow, right? I've listened to them a lot. Actually, I think I've listened to these songs, probably because it's been a big gap in our recording, more than I had listened to a lot of the other songs in terms of on repeat for these episodes. So I really have heard them a lot. And
what's that after? That's why you can't swallow the steak?
No, so did you ever have that thing where this maybe just I know
What, you
other
mean
people have
you're
done it
like you're
before.
not
Like you
affected by it
no,
anymore?
like you chew on a piece of steak for so long. I've had this happen to me before. Maybe other listeners have had this happen. If you chew on a piece of steak or meat for too long, you can't swallow it. Like your body refuses to actually swallow the piece of meat when you've chewed on it for too long.
Yeah.
And I've talked to other people where that's happened to. So it's an expression for me where like I've heard or done something so much that I can't take the final action of
Ingest it.
digesting it. because
Maybe
it
your
just-
your body is just sort of analyzing it too much, and therefore
could be,
there must be
but
something
it
wrong
just-
with it. Reject.
Exactly. Reject. Nope. Not going down. In any event, so I appreciate this song way more than I used to. I've always really liked it. But the other thing about that, and actually someone commented on this on one of our past episodes of how there are certain songs that really feel connected to the other songs they're with in a way that it's hard to pull them out of isolation.
And maybe
This-
on that album more than any other.
More, yeah, and well, especially the back half of this album. This song to me starts what really feels like a connected suite of songs, and always has felt that way to
Right.
me. So
Yes.
I rarely consider this song on its own. I rarely do. I need it to go into The Night Nothing Became Everything, and I need that to go into I Think You Know, and I need that to go into Ghost. It's a suite. They don't feel like individual songs as much to me, even in this age of fucking hit and shuffle, right? It's like it's not. So that's a good example. When I get in the car and I hit shuffle on fucking No Means No songs, which I want to do sometimes. Most songs, I love hearing what's going to come next. If one of these songs comes on, it's deeply unsatisfying.
Yeah, you
'cause
get
it doesn't
physically
go
disturbed.
it doesn't go into the next track. So
Right.
it was interesting for me to really pull it out. And I didn't let myself in this time go into those next songs. And it is kind of quiet. There's something about this song to me that almost feels, and this is a stupid thing to say, but it feels akin to Stock Taking or Tired of Waiting on Wrong. Like there's just that feeling of those aren't quiet songs, but they're just a little.
They're badass, is what the fuck they are.
They're totally fucking badass. They just feel more contained. There's something
Barely
don't know.
restrained.
fury,
Fury, anger,
restraint.
frustration.
Yeah. And of course, I could be wrong, but those all feel like Andy compositions, and this definitely feels like an Andy composition.
Yeah.
And the fucking, as you talked about, his vocal performances are just fucking insane. The degree of, yeah, it's kind of snotty, but it's super depthful snottiness. If that's a real thing, right? There's just like
He's making
something-
faces. He's
there's
making
something
faces.
He totally is, and there's
like
something
Rob
so
says he loves.
There's something so relatable to it, right? Like
Yep.
just like you, Matthew, it feels like a very salient song for right now. I'd written that too. I'm like, this is a song for me of being in fucking COVID, right? I'd written that,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, those moments where you think you have everything inside of you that you need to keep going and sane and strong, and then that just meets the reality of your fucking life, and shit just ain't what it ought to be, man. And for me, during the pandemic, that's every other day or so, certainly every other fucking week or so. I mean, the
Thinking
lyrics
about
are just
what ought to
exactly.
be.
The lyrics are just so fucking and there are those moments where the music and the lyrics get so out of sync in such an intentional way, and then sync back up, and it brings that feeling to me. I feel what he's talking about. The emotional content of what he's putting forward is there in the way that it gets out of syncopation or whatever. It's like all their best fucking music. All of it is of a piece. Like what they're trying to say is in the music, it's in the words, it's in its delivery. Just fucking brilliant. And I love just the rolling riff, man. I just love that. And it almost like when I tried to listen really carefully, and it's almost like I can't tell whether I'm hearing the frets as they're going up the neck of the guitar, or it's John doing a little right. And I'm sure it's both.
It's a little of both. Yeah.
It's a little of both, but it's just that up my spine is what it is, right? They're just little fucking nails up my spine, and it's just so fucking good. So that's my take. What about you, Michelle?
Shit.
I don't really leave much on the vine for you. Sorry.
I know. I don't even know why I bother, but I'm telling you, this song is in my top 10.
Nice.
I love this song. I don't know why, because I don't usually like slower songs, but there is something about this song where it sounds like somebody's coming up the fucking stairs slow to come and get you, and you better get your ass out of there. I love how sneaky and just the urgency, but it's a contained urgency. And this is such a phenomenal song. Andy is just amazing in it. Like you guys already hit upon that, and I can't add any more to it. It's so fun to listen to, with this attitude and the singing. I guess I am going to say something about it, but the singing that enhances the lyrics even better. My favorite parts are the last section when the who hits the what. I don't know why. I just like Jordan, you've talked about how they kind of fuck with the lyrics and change one word. I think that's one of those examples, but I always kind of just thought it was cheeky when he said when the who hits the what. And then the butcher, go gang, go gang, get the fuck out of the house, we're coming up the stairs to get you. You know, that's all on my notes. But the urgency of this song, this ball of confusion, or just get out of the house.
Convolutions.
Totally, totally.
Get out of the house.
And
I did ask Andy about this, and he did mention that this was during a Wire phase of his listening to Wire, so that kind of explains maybe the sliding guitar part. That kind of sounds a little bit wiry. I forget what the word is to use there, but just like the theme of the song. But it's killer.
It is killer. And none of us talked about it, but that janky fucking guitar fucking blast in the middle. No, the when he just really goes to town, the sort of bridge of the piece where everything just fucking falls apart. It's not the dun dun dun. Anyway, here we are singing a thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's like a real burst of just everything letting loose. I just fucking love it. And what I had started my notes off with and didn't fucking read them enough is this is I don't know if it's the only song, but it's the one that I noticed it forever is they left a little bit of like mic noise in the beginning. You hear someone rearranging something. You hear someone hitting the mic. Like they could have easily taken that out, but they didn't. There's a little bit of engineering noise in the beginning that they left in of someone.
Oh, I love those boo-boos.
There's a lot of shit like that on this album.
I know, and I just loved it. It sets a tone for me of just it. I don't know. It makes me feel more there in the moment of it being made somehow. And in this song in particular, I've always heard that and really fucking loved it.
Huh, I'll have to go look for that because I can usually pick those out. I don't think
Yeah,
I've
listen,
ever heard
it's
it.
the first sound in the song is mic noise, someone smacking a mic or shifting something. Yeah, it's interesting.
How about that?
All right, well, let's try this other fucking, I don't know, this song's
Gem.
all right. The Fall.
Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love, this is love? Do you know the meaning of this is love? This is the end is nothing, and you begin with nothing much. It starts with something, to something, a gentle touch of vicious punch. Just swing on over, please move over, you will get a little shove over your shoulder.
All right, Matthew, tell us what you think of this one.
Initially I was curious about the band The Fall because I know that, it's sort of similar time, and I'm sure that there's some inspiration from No Means No. So when this song came out, I went and listened to a bunch of The Fall to see whether and it isn't like that. And there's way too fucking much of it. It's, I like The Fall. I like what he sings about, but oh boy, is there a whole lot of The Fall. Anyway, nothing to do with anything except that it led me somewhere else. I like the song that much. This song perhaps for me is maybe one of the most or contenders for most full-on No Means No-y, No Means No song. They're all three are singing in it, which is unusual, which is cool. But yeah, for this song, helms to full, all the knobs are to 11, all the knobs are to fucking 27. Everything just goes. But anyway, yeah, it's got so many things that I like in it. The whispers and weird noises and grunts. Part with like carnival music. And there's keyboards for some reason. It just like more and more and more and more in this song just gets layered on. And the way it starts, it's trance-like with that incredible drum beat. And it's almost the singing is like around. It's trance-like, or like a chant. Yeah. So thematically, very sort of, in the groove for No Means No in terms of, the night is falling. It's the fall. It's the loss of innocence. It's, forward to death. And and this is love. Is it? Is this the way things are going to be? Yeah, I don't know. The progress of time. I think these are good companion songs, in that they're both kind of about the inevitable, like one being unprepared and one being just like pushed along. You're falling. That's you're born and you're dying kind of stuff. But yeah, if putting it all in order ain't enough, was like Scotch. This is like overproof rum or speed maybe.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there's just so much in it. I love when the bass and the guitar one octave apart. It just sounds so cool.
Right.
The lyric, light is branding, you go first. This little cowardly whine. So anyway, and then both of these songs end with a little interjection from Andy. Fuck, and this one's it's just like he is playing the tiniest violin. It's whoever's complaining about what's happening to everybody. It's like, oh yeah, we're all going to the same place.
Oh fuck!
So it's so sarcastic and just so yeah. Anyway, yeah, I love the song. There's a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to keep trying to hit all the bases because you're usually going to think about things that I didn't think about.
Ha!
Yeah, fucking A, right? This is definitely one of those songs where it's like, yeah, I gotta watch how much I say because there's just fall into a fucking pit. Could talk about it forever.
Of
Yeah, I think
shallow
this is
wit.
exactly. I think this is a pop punk masterpiece. I just fucking love it, and what a great 1-2 punch! What a great 1-2 punch after Now. It's so fucking good, and one of my favorite of their openings. I just love the way the drums and those 3 vocal lines come in. This is just so fucking good. It's so fucking good. And, you know, we've already covered some of the other No Means No Love songs, and this one's right up in the pantheon for me too. And it's just unbelievable for me when I stop to consider the lyrical genius of Now followed right up by this. Like, I'm sure there are other bands that have been able to pull that off, but none that I know of, and certainly none that have hit me like this. These 2 songs paired together are just fucking crazy. The level of poetic heft these guys have. And I mean, I don't know if this is mostly Rob, but hats off, man. It's just fucking crazy. And here's another song that, like many of theirs, that just chart that whole human journey, right? You pop out and then right to the grave, and they can just cover that whole fucking swath of time in this genius way. And mostly, yeah, around the idea of love, and the idea of love from being a baby and then up through how it changes when you die. I just love that the lyrics about the little baby crawling in the house and hearing the mom and dad fucking, right? It's just this mystery and this danger and this
continual disillusionment
of that, you know, that how love is just so pure as a baby, but is it not? And what is this? What are they doing? Is mommy hurting daddy? Right? Like, it's that old trope. It's fucking crazy. But, you know, there's I think I'm reading too much into this part, but I'm going to say it anyway, because that's why people listen, right? To hear our stupid fucking ideas about it. But something subtle that I was catching more this time around. I really love how, well, first of all, they have the 3 voices working really well together and often going in canon, and each of them hitting in that canon a different aspect of love. You've got the gentle touch, and then another one comes in with the vicious punch on the same line, or lean on over followed by roll on over followed by please move over. So you've got these 3 these 3 different ways,
the trifecta.
but and each of the voices, and that carries through for every time they have a fucking canon. If they're going feel, like they're all saying it in a different way. So every time they have a canon, they're not just saying it for emphasis, just as a, you know, to fucking sing it well, but there's a different emphasis underneath it. Oh, I've got my neighbors howling in here. They're probably hearing my fucking 8 o'clock every night like clockwork for 6 months. Or no, said a whole year. My neighbors are yelling, but can you guys hear that over my feed?
I heard that.
Only slightly. You know, it's just like the weird noises in the back of the Nomi.
It is just like one. So I've got the good sound.
Get out there with a garden hose, man.
Yeah,
take care of that.
They're sweet folks. They're sweet folks. They'll never hear this podcast.
No, it's just John Wright banging on some metal or scratching something. Or
So I was really listening to it for that this time, and I'd never really paid that much attention to it. But I really, there's just such a, even if there's not meant to be a different meaning behind it, they give the right fucking little English on any little line that they throw out.
Nice description.
Nothing is given lightly
English
on this. There's just a little, they just fucking go for it anytime they have anything in canon. And like you, that last line, the light is blinding, you go first. That just kills me. I just love it. It's so fucking good. the way that Rob says that is it's so fucking good. And you know, John, musically on this, John knows when to be theatrical in songs, and that's the wrong word, but you know, he knows when to really fucking just go nuts, and then he just knows when to lay it down straight and hard. And in this song, there are just so many times where he's just going so fucking hard and not showing off because he knows it's not what's needed, and that's fucking genius to me, right? Like, you know,
musicianship.
It's real musicianship, and Andy is on real display on this song. I think when you think about how different this album sounds compared to Wrong, and how different Andy's guitars are, for me in particular on this, is compared to Wrong, and this song, he's just fucking all over the place in the best way. It's so beautifully thick and messy. I just love it. And those horns, if you remember from the liner notes, that's the totalitarians. So they actually give it a name. It's the totalitarians. I think it's just Mark Critchley, according to Wikipedia. But there's those horns that come in. It's so fucking good under Andy's guitar solo. It's genius. And I'm wondering if that ever showed up on any other tracks. And if not, why they felt, I mean, I guess because it's fucking perfect is why, but how they came up with doing that in that one bit under Andy's solo, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, there's just so much shit, and then there's more shit in the song.
And then there's more shit. And there's more shit. And I will never not hear something a little bit more every time I listen to the song, even though I've listened to it 8 billion fucking times in 20, 25 years, 30 years that I've been listening to this album. Mm-hmm. This was the first album now that we're about to move on from 0+2, this is the first of their albums that I actually got to hear new, right? Like before this, Wrong had already come out, Small Parts, and I'd been introduced to those. This is the first one I got to go pick up myself and sit on and listen to new. And I just I can remember that first time in my dorm room putting this on.
You were crapping your pants, weren't you?
I was crapping my little fucking underoos for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let me leave a little meat on the bone for you, Michelle. What do you got to say about
meat on the bone? Now, you've already taken the plates away. I can't follow you guys. You're so poetical, both of you.
Stop it.
Ow,
Wait. Let's take a pause here. Everybody who listens to this podcast likes to hear what you have to say. Everybody.
Right.
So give yourself
you're
some
more
fucking
poetical
credit.
than I am. I'm all right with that. But here's my paper, and I'm going to read the paper because I can't ad-lib the poetical. Why does the song have to go up against When Putting It All in Order? I asked myself. Why the fuck are we doing this to ourselves? In any case, this song completely kicks ass, and I fucking love it. The first line, first we feel, and then we fall. I love all the versions, like you mentioned, of how they go through that, and the dynamic changes between the, how they're farting around with it. I love it. It's terrific, snarly, and the guitar solos are phenomenal. You guys, I have never fully embraced the horn type keyboard thing. I never fully embraced it. However, I'd miss it if it was gone. I don't know what that means. I can't dissect it, but I think it belongs, but it just didn't do much for me, but I like it. And if it wasn't there, like I said, I would miss it. This song is a great cruncher. That's what I got. That's the meat off the bone that I just met.
Hell yeah.
The meat that I met.
Here it is. One baby gotta die.
I think I know which one's gonna die.
We'll see. Matthew, you unfortunately got to vote first.
I know. This is the hardest one for so far. By far. It was stressful. Very, very difficult. And it's almost like me battling an older me and, loving this album back when I was younger and everything like that. It was very, very difficult. As I said, I probably wouldn't have hesitated to say, The Fall. No question. But it was almost like I was trying really hard as I walked around thinking about these songs and writing things down, emailing myself ideas and stuff. That it's almost like I was trying to convince myself for the sake of my previous self that The Fall's going to win. I got to make The Fall win. But you know what? It didn't.
Oh, nice.
Yep. When Putting It All in Order Ain't Enough is my vote.
Oh, that is so good.
Fuck. Thank you.
See, I've been sitting here. I don't know yet. I'm going to decide right in this moment because I have gone back and forth on this shit. But my vote is going to go for The Fall because
I knew it.
And this is not fair to the song because of what I talked about earlier. Because Putting It in Order to me is part of a suite. And on its own, it maybe isn't as strong in my guts as The Fall, but it is a hard choice. This is a hair's breadth. This is not an easy pick. And I'm just going with the moment and saying it's The Fall. So there we have it. Michelle, you're the tie motherfucking breaker.
Wow.
Down to the wire.
You guys knew as soon as I started talking which one I'd be voting for. And the answer is, when putting it all in order, ain't enough.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did not
it's
think
a
that.
spoiler.
Yeah,
It's an
you
upset.
You thought I was going to pick the fall?
I did.
Nope.
I thought you both
no
would.
No way. Nope. I thought you guys would both pick the fall. But
Well-
I told you this is in one of my top 10s.
In that case, I'm
Top
glad to have
tens.
been at least given it its due and have one vote, so it's not unanimous. But I'm not sad to see that song go through, man. That is fucking. That's a great.
I think
song.
we just made a lot of people mad.
Well,
That's all right,
Yeah.
I made myself mad every time we do this shit. So but that's all right. There we go.
land's
fall.
sakes, man.
The fall. My fall. The fall is falling. All right.
And
That's
I
all right.
want my mommy.
The light is blinding and it must go first. All right, so let's go into round 2 here. Ding ding. So we are taking a break from the old stuff and going right into the pretty real new stuff. We are putting No Big Surprise off Generic Shame 2001 versus Something Dark against Something Light, Tour EP1 2010. All right. Fucking
Nice.
crazy. All right, Matthew. No, Matthew doesn't get to go first this time.
No, Michelle.
Michelle. But before we let
Michelle.
Michelle talk about No Big Surprise, we are going to hear a clip of that. So here you go.
Can you hear my prayer? As it floats on high. Do you wanna know why? Like a fish in a deep blue sea, like an eagle in a clear blue sky. I got no time for wondering why. Shit. But
All right, Michelle, you get to dig into this steak first.
All right. This is some good sludge in here. This is a cranking piece of music. Rob sounds perfect both in his singing and his playing. This is quite a straightforward song for them, but the attitude behind it is stellar. Tom is doing some gloriously fucked up guitar playing and sounds tremendous. A few times I thought they were going to break out into some Rush. I don't know. Do you hear it?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think I'm
No,
crazy?
Definitely.
Eh,
Yeah. Older Rush, maybe.
Yeah. John's drum solo is just insert anything that would make you shit your pants. John's drum solo is killer. I love how Rob comes crashing in after it. I'm sure it's so fun to play for them, and it's really powerful and cool. I love when Rob says, "But you're my lady," because I think I want him to say it to me. And just to be stupid, I think Tom is playing a slowed down version of "Walk This Way."
Oh, yeah.
Hell
the
yeah,
end.
he is. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that was some knowledge that other people knew. I thought I was hearing something. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And it works. It works perfect. It's fucking funny as hell.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. So one thing that occurred to me when I was listening to this, you guys know the artist Winston Smith. You know who that is? He's very in the punk world. So he's the
No.
artist who did the art for The Sky is Falling and I Want My Mommy. He did a
Oh,
bunch of
okay.
Dead Kennedys stuff. He's a
Oh yes,
yeah, he's
I
like
know who
a
you're talking about
collage
now.
artist.
Yes,
right?
I
Like
do.
it's
I
shit.
do know that name now.
So this song to me feels like the Winston Smith of No Means No songs because it's got all the greatest hits kind of smashed into one song, right? We've got epic length, check. We've got poetically rich lyrics around a dark theme, check. Driving bass line with more than a hint of blues, check. Cheeky humor, check. Rob referencing the beasts of sea and air, check. Ripped off a riff from a famous rock song Michelle just talked about, check.
Yeah.
This is a giant fucking No Means No ice cream sundae, and I am so fucking here for it. I absolutely adore this song. I think it's hands down. I mean, not to give away my hand for any of these other songs that we'll get to at some other point, but hands down the best on this EP. I'm so glad they put it out. This is from the one session, I think, but yeah, absolutely would not have fit on one. But thank God they released the shit, because I am to me, you mentioned The Fall being one of the No Means Noiest songs, and I agree, especially for the Andy era. But for me, this is a No Means Snowy of one of the No Means Noiest songs in the way that I just feel like it's them having the best fucking time playing a song and just like bringing in all the goddamn hits.
The No Means Knowingest that ever known.
No Means exactly.
That's for T-Head.
And lyrically, so let me talk about the lyrics a little bit. Super fucking dark and fun. I think we start off this song knee deep in the Holocaust. We've got the sky is empty and the stars are bright, but it snowed like December on a summer night. It's the ashes coming down from the camps.
Right.
All that screaming and all these moans. Honey, don't it make you cry? Like, this is absolutely starting off with the darkest moment in human history, the fucking camps. And it just goes on from there. I'm not going to say the narrator, right? I know we tend to read too much a little bit into Rob playing characters, but this is that super dark, fucking really awful part of humanity. The incel alt-right motherfuckers, the Nazis, just bringing forth that part that's irrepressible, the part that unfortunately is just always gonna be with us. It's always gonna fucking be here, and unfortunately, it's no big surprise. I think that's so fucking true. It's like, don't be surprised when the shit happens, man. It's just gonna keep fucking happening. And I think all of the lyrics go that way. You've got the, can you hear my voice? I mean, can you hear my prayers? It goes on high, and then just like kind of in Mary, how it talks about, well, just like the fucking beasts of the air and the fish in the sea, you're just not going to fucking get rid of me. I'm a primal force. Fuck you. I'm sorry. And then the hilarious part where this fucking asshole like pisses off his girlfriend, right? And he's like, but honey, I just love that part. It's so fucking cheeky and funny. And yeah, Rob at the top of his game lyrically. And what's the fucking, it's not auto-tune. That's the wrong thing to say.
Oh, that better not be happening
But that vocal processing when he's going that, he's doing that kind of yell at the end after that kind of quieter part. Listen to it if you haven't, and at least in my opinion, there's some heavy vocal processing going on Rob's voice, and it's genius. It is so.
How about that?
It's so.
Listen.
So the other thing about the song I have to say, of all the songs we listened to in this, and I love the two we just covered. When I was playing this in the car, I was fucking doing like headbanging, fucking drum solos. Like, this song just made me fucking happy. It just makes me and I was humming it all fucking week. It just makes me fucking happy.
Look at you. I
just loved it. And I loved that. This is like, there's often in some of their songs, they'll have a musical bridge that I'm like, I just want that to go on longer. Can you please make that part longer? I just want to hear you riff. And this is the song where you're like, yeah, just take it all. I'm going to keep going. Here's another one. You want another bridge? You want another riff? You want another part? Here's another part. I'm just going to stack on. You want cherries and nuts on there? Let's put some Skittles and shit on there
listen
too.
To you. Listen to
take
you.
It. He just gave it to me, man. Fucking, they just gave me all that shit. So I love that shit. And, yeah, man, this song it fucking slays. I love that Rob gives me one of his G-string open D solos that he does so often, where he's down at the bottom. No, where he's on the G-string, but he leaves the D-string open and he just plays those soloing. He does that a lot in Give Me the Push. There's a lot of that going on. And when he really gets into riffs like that, I don't know why. I just fucking love when Grandpa Rob plays the bass like that for me. And
Because it's full of attitude, and
It's full of
if
attitude,
you're
but
playing one
it's-
note at the same time, it's just like fuck you.
And it's not even one note. It's just that he plays that bottom string in these great riffs, but leaves the D string open. So he's playing those two together, and that combination for me has always felt brilliant. And he does that a lot in "Give Me the Push," which is another one of my favorite songs. So, yeah, man, I think I probably had a lot of other shit written down, but I think I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say. This song's fun as fuck. It's fun as fuck, and I am
How about
totally
that?
here for it. Totally
All
here
right.
for it. All right, how about you?
Yeah,
Andy?
follow that one, Matthew.
Okay, the first thing I wrote was, is Rob a blues man?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
is.
Yes,
oh,
another
yes,
brutal
he
shot.
is.
Yeah.
Another brutal shot.
Another question,
Yes, he is.
is this their longest song? I think it might be. Yeah, it's
long as
over
fuck.
11 minutes, 11:23, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe how long is Bitches Brew? That's long as hell. Too,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Anyway, yeah, wow, I didn't see the Holocaust in there.
Yeah,
so
you made a face when he said that. You did.
I was just surprised. No, I mean, I can totally see it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
was maybe a little more literal, I guess, with the lyrics and everything like that. I guess I'll start talking about that. It's a song about aggression. It's a song about you can be the biggest swinging dick in the world, but ultimately we all vanish into thin air. So it's pointless. I think it's like it's Rob mostly, yeah, taking the piss out of cock rock and all the people who act like cock rock. I think so. There's a lot. It's very jokey. It's very funny. I also think it could use a good edit. It's
No, none of it goes. None of it.
no,
Sorry.
I don't.
that.
Okay, none of it goes, but it maybe should have been split into more songs. Because there's so many ideas that I feel like I just want to tighten the laces.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's like that's what I mean. It's the box of all the shit they had laying around. They're like, what can we do with this? I don't know. Let's put it into a song. And they
Right.
I'm just there.
I mean, the drum solo, A plus, like pluses
Oh,
going
but
off the
come on.
page and everything like that. It's
but
fucking
1
incredible.
minute about the drum solo that that I fucking love is and it felt like this. Well, so every instrument gets their moment, right?
Yeah.
But that drum solo to me has always felt so almost out of place, even though it's brilliant. And I think he knows that because he ends it with a little like a little fucking rim shot. Like I know,
Yeah.
I know. You know, it's just a little wink. Anyway, sorry.
I was really interested in the sound of the little roll. It's on a muted snare or maybe even a timbale or something like that, but it sounds like water. It sounds like something you have to deal with. It's something like, I don't know where that leak's coming from. It might be the leak in the dike that's going to flood the polder. But I like the sort of ominous. It felt kind of ominous to me. I mean, I love the noisy guitar, it's riffing, jamming, and that's the thing for me. This song is a jam. They're having a brilliant time, but maybe there's a bit too many ideas for me. It's a bit long-winded. It's a song maybe about getting old, and maybe I felt like I was getting old to listen to it many times.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Fight me, bro.
So, Winston Smith. I mean, I love that you brought that up because I love the sort of the collage aspect. It's fun. It's funny. It's good to look at, like a Where's Waldo, but ultimately it's not that fun to look at a distance, I guess, for me. Fun to dissect, but maybe not to take as a whole all the time.
Interesting.
I think the Walk This Way was definitely another sort of middle finger to cock rock. But were they invoking Aerosmith or were they invoking Run DMC?
Hey, that's a good cover.
I had
That's
that
a good
question.
cover.
That is a
I
really
love
good cover.
That is a
was
very
my first
good
introduction
cover.
to that song for sure. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's such a good cover.
So anyway, I love all the parts of it, but I think it just the weave, the warp, and the weft did not.
Holy
quite
shit!
hold
How do you
together
know
for me.
about that stuff?
Oh yeah.
How do you know about weaving?
I don't know.
Bull crap. Those are like terms for weaving. How do you
Yeah,
know
of course,
this?
the warp
Are
and the
you
weft.
a weaver?
You
you-
could use those in allegorical ways. Those terms.
I weave together ideas about no means no, and I put them on the internet with some friends.
Exactly.
And you warp and you weft them.
Well,
How
and you know,
about that?
I can't fucking argue with you really.
Oh,
about
Jesus
that. Like,
weft.
this song shouldn't work with all the shit that's in it. It really shouldn't. But I don't know why. It just does for me. I'm there for it. I'm gonna dig into that Sunday with a giant ass fucking spoon and
of
just be like,
sludge.
no, give it. I don't need no fucking quinoa tonight. Give me the no big surprise Sunday, man. I'm in for it. Anyway.
Well, when we talk about the next song, I'll sort of give you some more reasoning and how I sort of came around to what I thought. Anyway, yeah.
All right, good. Well, let's do it. Next one.
What do they call those breakfast dishes where they just fucking throw everything in there? You know, the bacon, the eggs, and the hash browns, and they call it like the garbage plate. Even though this isn't garbage, it's kind of, I see what you mean. So, all right, I'll shut up now.
It's soup of the day.
That's right. All right, so now we got it's the other baby on the altar. Something dark against something light. So let's hear a little bit of that first.
I love Rob's tone here, period. Love it. The echoey guitar is pretty reminiscent of some 80s music. Do you hear it, or am I high? Do you hear it? I think they're playing some kind of harmonic minor scale. It might even be a Hungarian minor scale, which Miles Davis once said that he learned at Juilliard. It was also called a gypsy run or an Egyptian minor scale. Not sure exactly what they're playing, but it's certainly exuding the vibe of this song. I totally love Tom's guitar work in this, and it adds such a great texture and urgency. I think they were going for more of a mood here, and it's more what the song says to me more than it being a complex piece. I don't think I understood what I just said at the end there, but...
I did. That was good.
Really?
Fucking made sense. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think they were going for a mood. I think that's what I mean. More for the mood.
Nice. All right.
That's Michelle's addition to this piece today.
All right. So
thank you.
Yeah, no, I think all that's right on fucking point. You know, it's interesting too. This is a song kind of like the other one, the one we just talked about. None of us have had as much time to chew on this as the first two, right? Like I've had decades to hear those songs.
Right.
This
exactly.
song is the song has not lived in my consciousness as much. A little side story about this. I've probably actually already talked about this on episode 1, but when my son was in preschool and you have to fill out those little fucking forms of what's your favorite color? What's your favorite animal? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's your favorite song? And he wrote this song. He wrote Something Dark Against Something Light, which was his favorite song when he was like 5 or 6, I think. And I just hope his preschool teacher went and was like, I wonder what that is, and went and like tried to find it and listen to it because she was in for something. Yeah, I really, really like this song. I think this is one of the stronger songs on the tour EPs. Really good. And yeah, that gypsy scale, that sort of Eastern mode. I'm a big fucking gypsy metal nerd. Like some of my favorite bands, like this band, Stratosphere. I mean, Taraf de Hardukes, which is not gypsy metal, but have you guys ever heard Taraf de Hardukes? Have you ever fucking, oh shit, come on. You got to. Anyway, that's for something else. They are authentically the best Roma music that has ever been recorded in fucking history. So we will get you down with that.
I
In
listened to
any
like
event,
Goran Bregovic, but not.
anyway, this is in that it's not really in that mode, but it is in that mode, right? It's in a kind of Eastern, Hungarian. Right? So I love that shit. So it's right in my wheelhouse for that, and really experimental, right? And in a way that a lot of these tour EP songs are. You can hear. I feel like it's really a lot of Rob on that front, and he was really playing with it. That middle section, just the layers that he puts into it. It does feel really engineered, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I can sort of feel Rob on Pro Tools with this, like layering in shit and masking shit, and I don't know, almost backward masking shit in the way that they've just got all of these layers of guitars and other sounds going on when he's going black is white, black is white. And the way he slowly pulls each of those threads out so that all that's left is his voice, right? It's so good and engineered in that sense. It's a lot of artistry there that I really like. And I remember seeing this live. What I thought was really interesting is that he didn't say black is white in that section. He kept saying black is right, black is right, black is right, which I thought was really interesting. Weird little change in the lyrics. And lyrically, I love this. I think this is sort of in the youth vein. Like it's very mythological. It's very sort of Joseph Campbell in its way, and really talking about the ridiculousness of looking at good and evil as different things. It's almost, they have that no yin yang symbol. This is a song about yin yang. This is a song about, well, I mean, it's a song about a lot of things, but it really has that feeling of good and evil being part of the same picture. They're part of the same thing. The snake is sort of the snake eating its own tail. They've got the snake imagery in there. And I just love that. I love with the Eastern mode and the real kind of mythic feeling to it. It just feels like a real exploration of something, that real subconscious imagery. I love when Rob lets himself get this poetic, and a dark song in a certain way, but in another way, not. Like it's not in the same way that No Big Surprise was lyrically in a way.
Yeah.
It's much more lyrical. And a mature song. I feel like for No Means No, this is a really, in terms of the production and the engineering and all of that, kind of experimental and mature. I really, really, really like this song. All right, that's all I want to say about it. Matthew, how about you?
Nice.
I didn't like this song at first. I didn't like much on the tour EPs actually, and so it's nice to be forced to listen to them. And yeah, so for No Big Surprise, I wrote, "Is Rob a blues man?" And for this, I wrote, "Is Rob a Sufi cleric?" Because you definitely picked up on that whole. Not an Eastern like Gypsy or Eastern European. I go even further east, that it's actually Middle Eastern. And it's interesting that it might be an Egyptian scale, because it's probably, if I hadn't been watching this TV show called Rami, which is about Egyptian American millennial guy and him sort of dealing with his culture and fitting into, I don't know if I would have learned about some of the things that I sort of applied to this song subsequently, which is pretty interesting. I don't always like the Rob as storyteller songs. I don't like Youth particularly, but I really like the imagery in this particular song. So maybe they're easy for a child to understand, but they're also like really kind of fundamental as well, which is cool. I noticed that production, maybe a little bit more production than you might be evident on a lot of No Means No. So, but I actually really like the effects and everything like that, especially near the beginning of the song. Really like how sinuous the bass and guitar, like they kind of wind around each other, just like the snakes in the lyric.
The snake,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's John in the background. It's like a muezzin, the call to prayer in the background. It's like this, barely hear it kind of thought. It was really, really interesting. But there's no black, there's no light, there's no dark, there's no white, no gray either, because one is the other. It's all mushed together, indistinguishable, and pointless to think about. It's pretty cool. But what I learned from, and I've always kind of been interested in Sufism, which is like the mystic aspect of Islam. I think it's more connected to Shiism. But there's a prayer circle kind of thing, and this is a very trance-like song. And I think maybe Rob had learned a little bit about it, because it's certainly evoking some of what I learned that the Sufi are trying to bring about with their prayer circle. They repeat phrases from the Quran. It's called a dhikr, and they repeat the rhythm and sound, and it's supposed to sort of get you off your nut basically and get you closer to God. But as I was reading about it, it's such a no means no idea, in that it is union with, but also annihilation by God. So it's such a appropriate thing, and I kind of wonder how much Rob was thinking about when he put together this song. But yeah, really like this song.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
But yeah, again, probably wouldn't have paid much attention to it unless I was kind of required to. We also noticed that this is 3 of 4 songs on that EP that we've covered.
Yeah, which is pretty strange.
Yeah,
pretty strange.
So anyway, yeah, that's all I got to say about it. It's very trance-like, and I listened to it more than I listened to it more, whereas I listened to No Big Surprise less than I thought I might. I thought initially that No Big Surprise would be a shoe-in, but no, I don't know. Very difficult. Yeah,
I really love that you brought up that Sufic element. Like, yeah, I've done a lot of reading on that too, and I would agree. I think the tour EPs as a whole, and I'll talk about this more as we had other songs too. I think there's some really deep thought and mysticism coming out of Rob, and a lot of Buddhism and stuff like that. But he's letting some shit in that has not been as explicit on other songs, and I think you're right on this. I think that's a really good pull. Whether that was intentional or not, or really meant to be explicit, I think it's a really good pull. I kudos on that. I think that's fucking great.
Wow, my mouth has been totally open for the last 5 minutes, and I haven't even said anything. That's wow.
All right. Well,
Jesus,
shit, this is gonna be rough, man, for me anyway. So what do you think, Michelle?
I don't even know if I should vote, because I don't dive deep into this stuff like you guys do. Anyways, here's my fucking vote. Here it is. But I feel like I feel different after that. I feel cleansed. All right, I'm gonna vote for No Big Surprise. I feel bad about it though.
Yeah, no,
Did somebody just get
no. Listen. I don't know which way to go here. So, for me, No Big Surprise is it's more fun. I fucking have more fun. It puts the boogie in my goddamn butt. And I think
that's probably why I voted for it.
But I think Something Dark for Something Light is the more mature song. And it's
I'm immature then.
No, I don't mean.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You heard me fucking geek out about No Big Surprise. I said I was way more enthusiastic about that than Something Dark Against Something Light in my vomiting. Right. Oh shit. I think I've got to go
spin the wheel.
No. I think I do not want to say goodbye to No Big Surprise, because I love you, baby. I love you, and I want to dig into you. But I'm going Something Dark Against Something Light.
Holy shit! Yeah, interesting. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I feel like I say, No Big Surprise is. He says put the boots to the dawn, but yeah, the boots are not laced as tightly as I might have liked, and I really like how interwoven. I don't know, the Something Dark and Something Light seems a little more whole to me somehow.
It's an evolution, whereas No Big Surprise was like a regurgitation, a beautiful one. But it felt like it. It was sort of like, it's all the stuff we've heard before, just really great. But Something Dark and Something Light, that's not. They haven't done that before. That felt not. Really new. That felt new. Anyway,
and maybe that's why my knee jerked initially, and I didn't like that the first time I heard it.
Yeah, maybe. Fucking crazy.
Oh, you too. You guys are great, man.
When I coming into this, I kind of had some idea which songs I was going to vote for, and I thought that both of mine went through. I didn't think that either of them would.
Huh? Crazy, and that's cool. This time there was no unanimity. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
unanimousness.
No unanimousness. We had a dissenter every time. That's pretty great. Well, I think that's interesting. So one way or the other, people are going to hate us and think we're fucking full of shit, which is true. No.
Well, that's what the comment section's for.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. You may be pissed at our choices. You may think we made the right choice. You may not know yet because you haven't listened to Something Dark Against Something Light enough like you need to. But guess what? We have a little palate cleanser for you. We have a special little segment that we're calling Andy's Correction Corner.
Say it again, because I was being a jackass.
That's all right. This is Andy's Correction Corner. And Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
This is not Andy's Candies Correction Corner. This is not Andy. Give me another Andy. I can't think right now.
Handy. He's very handy.
He's not handy. Okay. I was asking for another. This is Andy Kerr's Correction Corner. We got in touch with the man and asked him if he would give us some tidbits about some of the songs, and what a... I don't even know what to say. What a beautiful gift he is giving us to give us some insight into these things.
Thank you, Andy.
Hello. So he listens to the episodes and then writes us some stuff about some things. And again, thank you, Andy, because this is just like so cool. I mean, anything you say about it. One of your socks was down while you were playing. Anything you say about it, we're gonna geek out and love. So here are Andy's thoughts on episode 6. So the song Real Love. This is from Andy Kerr. I believe the original length was 9 minutes and 59 seconds. Friends of ours would sometimes say, maybe you should give that song a break now. It goes on an awfully long time. Rob was really specific about how the main riff fell, rhythmically speaking. The first bar chord of the riff every time comes in a nanofraction of a second later than it should. Did I read that okay? The first bar chord of the riff every time comes in a nanofraction of a second later than it should. This is also the case in the song Small Parts, but way more extreme. We were all listening to a lot of Black Flag at the time and loved their, quote, lurching feel. I always loved playing this.
Fuck yeah.
From the man himself.
Hell yeah.
From the guitar guy.
Nice.
Keep going?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
More.
The next one, it was the song Lonely off of episode 6. And Andy says, nice to hear that you guys liked this one. Started life as a Rob demo with guitar and vocals. As I recall, it was kind of like the verse of Revenge, musically speaking. I told Rob that I really liked the words, but thought that the music could use another vibe. So I wrote the music for Rob's words. The only other time that happened was Life in Hell. Oh, that's my sound effects. The only other time that happened was Life in Hell, though at that time I had come up with the music first and Rob the lyrics afterwards. Lonely rarely got played live. The few times we did do it, it seemed to fall flat, not surprisingly.
Well.
So soak that in. Soak that juicy bit in.
Jesus.
Yeesh.
The next one is Madness and Death. Started life when I was still in the band as a one-bar John drum riff. I read that right. Started life when I was still in the band as a one-bar John drum riff.
John riff.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. You said bass earlier, and I didn't say anything. So
Did I in this episode say bass?
Sure did.
You did. You did.
Yes.
I didn't want to
Oh
be a
my
dick,
God.
but you did. But
I'm so glad it wasn't on
Call me
purpose.
that shit. You gotta call me on that shit.
No, you were in the zone.
Fucking A.
You were in the
Go
zone.
ahead,
He was in
go
the
ahead.
bass zone.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, back to
I don't even like fishing. What the fuck? All right.
Yeah, it's the same spelling. It's confusing.
Bass guitar.
Just as back with Andy. He's talking about John. Started the band as a one-bar John drum riff. Just as he loved playing Hugo Burham's, I hope I've got that name right, Hugo Burham's riff in the Go-Fours, What We All Want, over and over. He could just sit there playing this riff again and again, enjoying himself. Rob and I tried to come up with
I
various
can totally
riffs.
see that with the stupid
See,
expression on his face.
Totally.
I don't know it, so I'm going to have to check it out. So yeah, he would just sit there playing this riff again and again, enjoying himself. Rob and I tried to come up with various riffs to go with it, and Rob even wrote some lyrics called Work. But alas, I left before it developed into a full-fledged song.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy to think about that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
All right. The next one. All lies. Yes, without a doubt, Matthew, comma, meant as the last, all capitals, he wrote, last song on the album. The original CD added Life in Hell and I Am Wrong as extras after I fucked off and left and they went to Southern. Suddenly it was a double album with Mr. Wrong songs from 92, question mark, 93, question mark, tagged on to the end, which totally baffled me. I'll be honest, sorry, Jordan, but All Lies is not my favorite No Means No song. In fact, it's my least favorite on Wrong. Go figure. Ha ha ha.
Knife in the heart. Knife in the heart when I read that. It's like, oh, Andy.
Ha 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 ha. He wrote "Go figure." Ha 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 ha.
It's okay, you know. It's
Where
okay
have
to
you
be
heard that
wrong.
laugh before?
It's okay to be wrong about your own band. It's not unknown.
Oh shit!
It's not unknown.
Oh shit!
That was awesome. That's
Thank
fucking
you, Andy.
crazy.
Holy shit, man!
So
what a treat.
We might have more though. We will. I'm not sure how often. You know, clearly he'll only be able to talk about the songs when he feels like it, and when it's songs that he had anything to do with, which there's only some of them, right? So,
Right.
we'll bring these to you whenever he has something for us.
I should also maybe we talked a little bit about this. Sometimes the more you know, when I go to an art gallery, I don't read the descriptions. I like to have my own impression before I, read what it's supposed to mean and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That way you kind of get to have both. But if you know the story, then, it colors your interpretation. So you have to be careful with this stuff. So
Yep.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we fucked up, and I fucked up and had told him the pairings for this episode before we'd recorded it, and we got a little bit of feedback, and I was like, no, I don't want to look, but I did. So
Oh yeah, no, my
really-
fundamental self-deprecating personality means like, oh well, who the fuck am I to like?
Exactly.
Yeah, you got your own thoughts and your own brains, and
Yeah,
that's
why
what
we'll
music's
get-
for.
But anyway, I do hope that people enjoy that. I mean, I would imagine people are going to enjoy that, hearing that shit come out of the mouth of the man himself. Well, so to speak, secondhand. But thank you, Andy. We appreciate those.
Yeah,
comments,
I
or
hope
those,
I
that
read it
feedback.
okay. I'm
That
worried
is-
that I read like shit.
No, that was fucking awesome. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, it's a long one. Maybe we should.
I think we should wrap it up, everyone. Listen, follow us on all the socials. Oh, you probably already know this, but we've got our own little Facebook page now. There's nothing against the other one. We still post there too, but just in case you want to have a place to really tell us where to stick it, we've got our own Facebook group, No Means No Thing Podcast. So join us there. We'd love to talk back to you and be talked back to. So
It's just a supplement to the main group because our
Exactly.
shitty little podcast, it just gets buried by all the amazing
gets
things that people post. So
many
Right.
good things. So many good things. So anyway, yeah, it's an offshoot, not a anything else. So anyway, it's really important, everyone, to remember that Chairman
it's a
Mao.
supernumerary nipple.
Oh fuck.
Huh?
Chairman Mao was a great cook. He fed all of China.
You sick and tired of the same old